Hydrofoiling is taking over in every single water sport and of course not stopping at windsurfing. For most it has increased the amount of days spent on the water, increased top speeds in light winds, and most importantly, hydrofoil windsurfing has made it into the Olympic Games. This is pretty amazing. I always knew it must be possible, but recently we have actually seen the first foiling tags. I obviously had to take on the challenge, so have fun with, can I make a foiling tag? But my foiling tag journey is not starting today. 2 years ago, I almost made it already. I stepped on the other side and I felt the lift on the foil right away. I don't know if we will make it today. I took the IQ foil board to do it as close as possible to what the guys did over in Lake Garda. I took a 9.0 900 square centimeter front wing. We'll see. I think I'm a bit handicapped because my mast is longer. It's a bit heavier on the mast base. Yeah, and the fuselage is only 105 instead of 115. We'll see how it goes. Tags in. This is gonna take a while. I always really enjoyed a good tag somehow. Already back on those 12.5 square meter formula sails and those 1 meter wide boards, making a good tag and getting it done almost planing was already a big success and good fun. Then when hydrofoiling came about, we started making planing tags on a regular basis, and this was already such a satisfying feeling because we never had that before. So you jump around and straight away the board just keeps planing through the water and you're back up on the foil. So this has been a huge step already. Well, so far it's been planing tags with the usual tactic of mine, but I think I gotta change something. I'm not quite sure yet what, I haven't figured it out yet. The wind is a bit iffy, I'd say around 8-9 knots, I think could be a bit more, so I'm not getting enough speed while coming in, and then when carving in, obviously I gotta take the speed. So I have to carve at full speed, but then the tricky part is not to let the nose ditch down, which just happened now. And it's exhausting too. The whole idea about fast tags has always been jumping around the mast as fast as possible so you don't waste any time with the board pointing straight into the wind. And to do that, I was taught a technique a while ago by my friend Basti Kördl, who now obviously is very successful in the IQ foiling, is to step with the front foot right onto the mast base. You feel it on your foot. This gives you a good point of reference. Then you slide your back foot next to it, and the next step is with the front foot between the back two straps. So this is a two-step movement which is really fast. Basically where I left off 2 years ago, where I have still this, I can already feel the foil under the feet on the new side, but just not getting that last edge. Sun is going down. I really want to get it today.
Verdammte Scheiße, ey. Warum ist das verdammt hart? Mann, ey. I'm f***ing pissed. Fuck. My forearms are so hard in pain. I think for sure I never did so many tacks in one day. I'm missing just this last little bit and I can't get it.
I tried a couple of different things when stepping out of the backstrap with my back foot. At first I always put the foot on the rail and then reposition it throughout the tag, and I realized that disturbs the tag too much and you lose too much speed. The best technique I figured was to take the foot out of the backstrap and place it right away on the center of the board, and this really gave me a lot of control to carve hard into the tag and also allow me to center the weight over the board, not outside of the board, but over the board when I'm on the critical point of the tag. At some point I really thought making the foiling tag was going to take me as long as getting out the new SURLA drop, which has been taking forever. But finally guys, it's online. The new caps, SURLA caps with a squared visor. So yeah, design patented, super proud about these. You've been seeing me wearing them for a while in the videos already. They have been samples for so long, but I finally managed to figure out the production process and we are finally having them here. But they're only online for 10 days because we're always on the go and we wanted to do everything ourselves. If you want to be one of the few people having one of those, be sure to check out the surla.eu website. I'm super proud of them. They're my own design, so be sure to check it out, surla.eu. And now let's get back to the video. Obviously I knew that when I wanted to make a foiling tag, I had to minimize the time pointing into the wind with the nose of the board, and therefore for me my first focus was to gain a lot of speed before, so I can carry as much speed as possible into the tag and then going for a really sharp turn. I always knew that somehow a foiling tag must be possible. I wasn't sure if it was ducking under the sail or walking around, but there must be a way where you can keep the lift in the foil and keep the speed so the foil keeps lifting and somehow get around the sail. And I had one moment where I jumped around the sail and throughout the whole tag I felt the foil carrying me. And so this was a huge eye-opener, and even though before I knew it was possible, at that moment I felt that it was possible because the foil was carrying me throughout. We haven't seen many of you guys in the comments lately, so leave us a comment how well your tags are going and what you are struggling with. Of course, I also couldn't get this stepping technique out of my head that I had been doing for years and years and years, where I would place my front foot right in front of the base. And I wasn't still entirely sure if this is what I had to change. All in all, quite difficult just to make adjustments based on what you're doing in this moment and not seeing yourself. So I think it was the right call to call it a day and give it another try on another day.
Let's pack things up and go. Another day, another luck.
So here we are, second chance. Lars and I had just finished a full day in the office when we looked outside and saw the trees moving. And we thought, well, maybe today could be the day. The wind wasn't quite right for the same spot as last time, so we looked for a place where we could film relatively well. The water was sort of flat, but not really. But yeah, it didn't turn out so well.
We changed the spot, which is going to be tricky because I have to tag from the other side. And I think my PORTAC tag is a bit better, so that's going to be a challenge. But by now, the new foil sails arrived. So I'm gonna go with a smaller sail. I think that's a fair change because I'm still going with a shorter fuselage, and it's typical German summer weather. There's rain in every single pore. Yeah, but let's see. Let's get it.
After a few tacks, I realized this spot wasn't gonna be ideal. The first challenge was that I had to tack the other way around, and of course all of us, we sort of have a chocolate side, right? On port tack, my tacks were a lot better than on starboard tack, and so therefore this was the first challenge, but also the wind was extremely gusty. The gusts were too short, so I couldn't really get enough speed, and the moment I was jumping around, all of a sudden the gust was gone. It just wasn't ideal. It took me a while to implement the tricks that I had learned from the previous session. It became more and more apparent that I had to sort of step around the mast in a way where at no point there is one foot in front of the mast. They always have to be both on the side of the mast. I also learned that I had to push the sail even further back and really lay it onto the tail of the board. After a few tries, I managed to do exactly that better and better, and I also felt like I got closer to the foiling tack, although I was still touching down and I was still tacking into wind holes, so there were still a few struggles. Big point was also leaning the sail back and going quite far forward with both of the hands. Stepping around, no foot ever in front of the mast base. Well, and then stay close to the mast while you walk around. And these were all the things I had to put together. There was one tag in particular where I just touched down, and the whole time the foil was carrying me. So in my head, I had already done it. At this point, I'm just sad. I'm motivated, but the wind completely died on me. By now you can probably see that the nose of the board is pointing down a bit too much, but I was in such a tunnel I only realized after the session that one of my foil screws was completely loose. It was almost completely dark. Lars must have been fed up by now for waiting out there with a camera. It was probably 10 or 10:30 in the night, but at some point the wind got less, the sun went away, and I just had to accept that I could not fully do it that day. It felt like I almost did it, but I didn't, and I had to accept that.
Oh man, you look destroyed.
Acceptance is a damn hard thing, man. So close, really. I didn't want to accept it. I know I'm capable of it. Just need a little bit more wind and daylight. I'm dead. I don't know how many tacks I did again. But yeah, I had the technique down in the end, but the wind was just missing. Really damn hard to accept that I didn't do it today. And I actually managed to cut myself below the foot. Managed to cut myself below the foot and on top of the foot as well.
Oh man.
Yeah guys, what can I say? Acceptance is a damn hard thing, especially for me, especially that day, especially the circumstances. But the wind was gone, the light was gone, and I didn't make it. I did not make it. However, I gotta say, I loved the journey. I loved seeing my improvement. I loved figuring out what I have to do, how I have to do it. Perhaps you want to do a foiling tack and you can learn something from it and take something away from it. I will definitely come back to trying the foiling tack, but right now we gotta focus on some other things like competitions or packing your SURLA caps. So be sure to check out surla.eu and get yourself one of those few caps we have.
Well, I guess if you want to know if I actually make it someday, you gotta subscribe, switch the notification bell on to not miss any videos. And yeah, mission failed. Close but failed. See you next time.